Hello, so in this video you're going to learn how to create a really simple auto clicker using 7 lines of code. It's going to take you like 5 minutes. So to do this, we're going to use the Java programming language. There's a couple of different ways that you could do this, but I find that Java is the fastest and it's really easy. So you're going to need to download 2 things for this to work. You're going to program this yourself. I'm going to show you the code to do that. First of all, you're going to need to install the Java JDK, which is the development kit. So if you just look up Java JDK download, it's going to be this first link from oracle.com, and you're going to click on this, and then click on this Java logo right here, and find your machine here, and then click on the corresponding link. I already have this installed, but if you don't, just download this, follow the steps, and it'll be installed on your machine. The next thing that we're going to need is an IDE, which is an integrated development environment. It's basically what you're going to code in. So you've got the programming language installed. Now you're just going to need something to program it with. I like to use IntelliJ. There's a bunch of different IDEs, including like Eclipse and BlueJ. There's a bunch, but IntelliJ works really well. So let's use IntelliJ. If you just look up IntelliJ like that, and it's the first link by jetbrains.com. I'm going to click on that and then hit download here, and then it's going to be the community edition. These are both free, by the way. The community edition is free. And then you're just going to hit download here. Again, I've got both of these installed already. Just click through all of the steps and you'll have it there. And after you click through those steps, you're going to be greeted by this screen when you launch IntelliJ IDEA. And from here, you're going to want to create a new project. So this is where we actually code. So if you hit create project here, then this is the SDK that you've downloaded from the JetBrains website. So this thing is going to show up here, and you just select your version, and it'll be there. And then we don't need any of these, so don't check any of these boxes. Then we're going to hit next. Then create a project from a template because it'll write 2 of the lines for us, and we're going to go to command line app, then hit next. I'm going to name this AutoClicker. Like that. And I already have a folder for this where I put all my Java programming. If you don't, you can hit these 3 dots over here, navigate your file system, and put it somewhere, and then hit finish. So this is going to create a project for us, and then it wrote the first 2 lines of code that we need for this already. So then we're going to type a couple of lines of code in here, and we'll be set. So we've got the main method here, and this is where we put all of our actual code. So outside of this, outside of the class declaration up here, we're going to need to import 2 things. So we're going to need to import java.awt.star because this basically imports everything in this AWT library is what the star does. It's going to be grayed out for now because it's not used, but that'll fix itself in a second. And then we're going to explicitly import java.awt.event.InputEvent. And that should auto-compute for you, and that'll be like that. So now we actually write the actual AutoClicker. So to do this, we're going to create a robot of our own to click for us. And this is really easy to do. We basically create a new robot object. So if you type robot with a capital R, and then whatever name you want to give it. I'm just going to call mine robot. You can call it, whatever, like Joe or Jill. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to call mine robot, and then this is going to be a new robot, and you just do open and close parentheses and colon. And this is going to throw an exception here. So up here, you're going to need to tell it that it's going to throw an exception, so it'll ignore it, and it's going to be like that. So then we're going to create an infinite loop basically. So this is fine for our purposes, but be careful while using infinite loops because it can lead to bad things. Because this loop is never going to end unless we terminate this program up here at the top right here. In this infinite loop, we want it to click multiple times. So we're going to do robot.mousePress press, and then we're going to do input event dot button one mask. So basically what this is saying is we're going to press down on button 1, which is the left mouse button on the mouse. And there's a bunch of different things that you could put in here for it to press on different buttons. For this video, we're just going to do left clicks repeatedly because that's used a lot. If you need it to do something like a right click, it's probably just going to be button 2 mask. You could look that up to be sure. It's just look up the Java robot library and it'll tell you right away at the top. So then we want it to delay for a second because we can't press and release like, basically at the same time. So we want this robot to delay for a bit. So we're going to call on its name. Again, if you named it something other than robot, this would be whatever you named it instead of robot. This is just the name of the robot. So we're going to delay this by 1,000 milliseconds. And whatever value you put in between these parentheses are going to be the millisecond value. So then you end this with a semicolon here, and then you go down, and then you do robot.mouseRelease, because again, now we're releasing the button that we had pressed down initially. So then we go to input event dot button one mask because we're releasing the same button. And we are done. This is all of the coding that you're going to have to do. It's just pressing down a button, waiting, and then releasing the button. And this is just happening a bunch of times over and over again because it's while true. This is basically the same thing as saying like while 1 equals 1, which is always true. So this is just going to keep on executing over and over and over again. So I'll show you how this works now, or how to use it. So we're going to go to Minecraft first. So this is an XP farm in Minecraft for those of you that are not familiar with it. Basically, you just have to click these skeletons over and over and over again that are trapped in this block, and then it'll give you a bunch of XP over time. So rather than like actually sitting here and clicking at these skeletons, we can be away from the keyboard and have it auto farm for us. So first of all, you're going to want this to be on windowed settings. So again, go to options, video settings, and full screen off. Then we are going to make this click a bunch of times. So if you Alt Tab back over to the code, and over here at the top right, it's going to have this green arrow or this green play button. We're going to press that, Alt Tab over, and then hit black to game. And I'm now not touching the mouse. So it's clicking by itself. Now you can just leave this, come back in an hour, and you'll have like 90 levels of experience. Now to change the delay time on the AutoClicker, that's really easy. So first of all, to stop this from clicking, we're going to Alt-Tab over and then quickly drag the mouse up here and then over to this red square. Because remember, this is a while true loop. It's never going to stop clicking. So even if you're on your desktop, if you go to Google Chrome, whatever, it's just going to be clicking over and over again. So you just want to Alt-Tab over and then hit the red square. So be careful while using this. Make sure you don't click anything that you don't want it to, and set up your environment beforehand to make it easy. So let's say we want to make this faster. So in this millisecond value, I'm going to change this millisecond value to 10. And to give myself a little bit of breathing room, I'm going to do robot.delay and then put, 1,000 in there. So it's going to wait about a second. And every time, yeah, so basically by the time I press this play button and then go over and then start cookie clicker and everything to show you the faster example, it won't just be clicking all over the place. So if I go to cookie clicker right now and if I click, it's adding one cookie at a time. So to make this a lot faster, I can go here and hit the play button up here. Hold on, there we go. It's going to give us a second of breathing room, and then it's going to start pressing. So I'm not pressing right now. This is the auto clicker. I'm dragging my mouse around, and as you can see, it's very fast. You can also make this less than 10 milliseconds to make it faster. So now that we know that the AutoClicker works, we're going to need to make it stop, which is a little bit tricky and it might mess up your code. But thankfully, we have the power of Control Z. So since this is clicking every 10 milliseconds, there's a lot of chance of it clicking something that we don't want to. So we don't want to go down to the taskbar over there because it might open up like 1,000 instances of a program. So we're going to want to Alt Tab real quick. So I'm going to Alt Tab into IntelliJ if it'll let me. No, it won't. So I'm just going to click IntelliJ up here. Sketch, but it does work. Again, this is because we're going very fast. Again, it messed up my code because I was clicking a bunch. I just Control Z'd. You can make this longer if you want. So that's a really simple way to have an auto clicker. I hope this helped, and thank you for watching.